Jameis, after the three game stretch you guys had, very emotional games, big games, will the challenge this week be bringing the same focus when Wake Forest is coming off a big loss and just kind of bringing that same focus and intensity?
Well, our mindset the same every week. We're going to prepare the same, we're going to practice the same, and hopefully get better as a week goes on. So it's just going to be the same week for us.
Was there anything you were looking for out on the practice field Monday or Tuesday that kind of said, all right, yeah, everybody's still got that same energy even after, you know, the 3 weeks of a lot of attention and all that stuff?
Well, it's just the character of our guys. I mean, we got such high character guys. I mean, they don't want to just be satisfied for what our season is like. We're 8-0 right now, but we want to be 9-0, 10-0, 11-0. I mean, we want to go undefeated. So those guys, it means a lot to them. It means a lot to me. So we're gonna stay ready.
James, are you going to watch Thursday night's games just out of curiosity, the Oregon-Stanford game?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It should be a good game.
Have you been to watch a full Oregon game yet? See what they're all about?
No, I mean I haven't watched many games other than like ourselves. I mean, because we really just try to. Well, I try to focus on the team and stuff. And I mean I enjoy watching football, but most of the time I watch games the early games at 12 o'clock. I see Louisville every week, so I watch those guys. But it's gonna be an exciting game. I'm gonna try to catch this game.
For Stanford?
We can't control nothing. Obviously that'll be big, but I mean the best team's gonna win.
Do you look much at like the other programs, maybe even back when you were going through recruiting and stuff, and kind of think as a quarterback how you'd fit into like a system like an Oregon system, or maybe you know some of the other systems that are run out there? Like how big was the offensive system something that you were interested in when you were going through recruiting and that kind of stuff?
Oh, it was real big. That's why I mean I fell in love with here. I mean because Coach Fisher is just. His system is a quarterback-oriented system, and I knew that we was gonna have a lot of guys around me that can play. And Coach Fisher, he's just a quarterback guru, so I always knew that his system would fit me.
Have you ever met Marcus Mariota, or do you know anything about him?
Yeah, I hear a lot of great things about him. I never met him, but he's a great quarterback of what I hear. I mean he's up for the Heisman. It's the same with Johnny Manziel. I never met him, but they're both great quarterbacks that I always hear about.
You talk a lot about how many playmakers you have around you, especially with your wide receivers. You talk about their ability to block downfield as well.
That's where it comes with the character and stuff. I mean, those guys we have the most selfless people on our team. I mean, those guys are unselfish. I mean, they do anything to win. And our receivers, they'll go down there and block. And people are so talking about how big KB is. He'll put you on your back in a minute when we are running the stretch, and he'll block his tail off. And even little Kenny Shaw be blocking linebackers and stuff like that.
How much fun was it to see KB on the James's touchdown run? KB like just kind of slammed his guy into the end zone, and he didn't even have really anything to do with the play.
Well, you know, he did that the NC State game too when we had flipped Carlos the ball. KB just knocked the dude out and just stood on him. And then I shook KB hand, and we just went to the sideline because we knew it was going to be a touchdown after that with Carlos out there running. So, I mean, that's stuff that we always looked at. Coach Fisher showed us a video at the beginning of the year of something his pass route receivers just dominating the outside, and not just dominating the line of scrimmage, it's just dominating the secondary. And that's one thing we take pride in, our wide receivers and running backs. Just try to make that extra block downfield because, you know, I mean, anything can spring you loose.
Did you get a chance to try some contact lenses this week?
Some contact lenses?
Yeah.
I mean, my eyes are fine. I always have contacts. I just don't wear them, and I wear glasses sometimes. But I mean, my eyes are fine.
So you're not changing anything that's been going on this season as far as what you wear on game day?
No.
How much did you seriously hear about that, like on Monday or something?
I heard a lot about that, but I mean, it's just like hearing other stuff too. I mean, obviously with me going to get my eyes checked, I mean, obviously I had to, you know, refill my prescription and things like that and do that. Just the daily when you wear contacts and glasses, you got to do that. But obviously that week had to be after everyone talked about how I squint and stuff. So, I mean, that just made it worse.
Did you know, I mean, because during the game, I mean, ABC's making a big deal of it. They're showing your face all the time, and then people are tweeting about it. And
well, I mean, that's one thing. My face has always been shown. If you see the other players, I mean, they squint for the sideline too. Like they squint. I mean, people say I squint worse, but if you squint, you're squinting. I mean, I don't see the difference of it, but yeah, I squint a lot. I mean, it looks like I'm squinting right now because I mean, I just do that. It's a habit.
You've talked a lot about how, you haven't let all the attention change you at all, but has it surprised you, or have you had to sort of be a little more guarded with, like, the little things that you would think shouldn't be any big deal at all have turned into, I know the Manziel comments before the season, or the haircut that the Nevada guy had. I mean, just little things that you don't think much about, and you say it, and then all of a sudden everybody's writing about it and talking about it.
I mean, it's just life, man. Like, sometimes people can just change things into big things, but that's fun things. I mean, it's nothing bad about that. And like the squinting thing, I mean, that was made big, but everyone on campus like, Jameis, can you see me? I mean, this probably the most like I done had on campus. But people usually don't bother me or nothing like that. But they asking me, can I see them and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I got good vision, guys. So I mean, they're just fun because I know, and the team know, they like Rashad tell me, I'm like, man, you can't see. I'm like, Rashad, now how I see you down the field. So it's fun.
So you don't act any different with people, or you haven't really tried to like cap what you're saying or whatever because of how people might take it or turn it into something bigger?
No, I asked them earlier today when I was in the training room. I said, man, pick something out. I'll tell you. I'll let you know that I can see. Like, just pick anything out in the back of the room. Even y'all can do it. Pick something out in the back that y'all want me to read, and I will read it for you right now. I don't see no words in here, but I will read it for you right now.
So you wearing them now? So you wearing them?
No, I'm not wearing my contacts now.
Oh, okay. So you just like pick and choose when you want to wear?
Yeah. I mean, I don't wear them on the football field.
Just comfort?
Yeah.
James, maybe I missed. I thought during the game, and it looked like you were tying Bobby Hart's shoes or something like that. Did that happen, or what happened there?
Yeah, Bobby was like, James, tie my shoes, and I was like, Bobby, stop bending over. It's gonna look weird if I tie your shoes and you bending over. So I said, stand up. So I was like, stand up straight, Bobby. And then he had stood up straight, and I started tying his shoes because I mean, when their shoes come on tight, it's different from them because they got so big shoulder pads on, they got all this big stuff on, and so I tied the shoes, and he was like, okay. And then it was right, like we had to hurry up with the play because the clock was going while I was tying the shoes. I was like, dang, Bobby, come on, man.
First time you tied a line of shoes?
No, not the first time at all.
Did Miami blitz you much at all? It didn't seem like they brought a ton of pressure.
They had a lot of max coverages, and they did a lot of twisting the line and stuff like that. But no, I didn't get blitzed that much.
Do you see that going forward, that a lot of teams are kind of going to play you guys like Miami has and just kind of make you earn your way down the field instead of giving up big plays?
Well, that's one thing that our offense is built to. I mean, they're going to have a hard time stopping the run because that's all we saw. Our running game is really good, and our linemen can take control of the game, as we saw in the Miami game. So it's going to be the way that Coach Fisher teaches us how to play, and the way that we do things at practice, and the way that how we react. We can counter something. So you can try to hide and disguise things. I mean, you just come out there and be yourself and play with yours. I mean, we feel like we have a great team, so we're going to go out there and do what we got to do anyway.
I know in the past you've said you really enjoy being able to take those shots downfield. Was that a really big test for your patience, being able to take what they give you, even if it's just a 5-yard check down?
I mean, before this game plan even came, Coach Fisher told me, like, man, you really gonna have to take what they give you. And this game that's why Freeman led the team in receiving yards. I mean, I had to dump him the ball. I had a lot of short passes to Nick O'Leary. Those underneath guys were open all night because, I mean, some teams are going to do that, and when they do that, I mean, we got to be prepared for that.
James, how much do you enjoy when a screen pass is set up well, like that one, where you see them in the blitz you want them to be in, and you guys, I mean, are you, as soon as the play is snapped, are you thinking he may go all the way?
I don't think, actually, that's the fun part. The fun part is when, after you throw the ball and you see 310-pound linemen running down the field full speed, that's the fun part of it. And if you look at that run, Josue made a block about 30 yards down the field. And usually some screens, the running back just break loose. But Free was riding Josue all the way down the field. So Josue was running the whole time, and then you see KB come with a big block, then you see Rashad come with a big block. I mean, it was just, when you watch it on film, it looked like man, that's a masterpiece. I mean, that was really teamwork, and they scored that play. I mean, that was a nice play.
Do you work on those throws very much? Because those screens are so much of a timing play. You can, even if you're a little bit behind, they got to wait for the ball to get there, and it can throw the blocking all out of whack. Is that something that
Yeah,
you repeatedly work on that
yeah,
timing?
we work on that every Tuesday and Wednesday. We have a period to work on that.
What's your relationship like with Brian Stork? And what kind of guy is he?
Brian Stork is probably one of the most genuine guys that we have on the team. He's a veteran, and literally he's a veteran. He's an old guy, but I mean he's so. People look at Brian and they just like, oh, Brian's quiet, but Brian is a really funny guy, and we have a good relationship because Brian accepts whoever you are. Like he don't judge nobody. He doesn't really have a problem with you. He's gonna tell you straight up, and that's the type of guys we need, not only on a football team, but you know, in everyday life. I mean, he's just a great person, and he's a great center. I mean, that's the center quarterback, you know, relationship has to be great, and I love my center.
Last week you had Tom Rinaldi's front and center. This room, twice as many people. Now it's Wake Forest. I know you guys look at it differently than us, but how do you make sure that you stay hyped, that you don't take them as a trap game? Because like the media, there isn't as many media in here. They're not hyping it up as the same type of game.
I mean, we don't look at the week any differently because we're here to play football. We're here to win games, and we're here to do what we plan to do. I mean, our weekly plan is to be the same every week and even get better. It's not lowering down our self-esteem or lowering down our intensity. We don't do that for anybody.
Did you get to see, I don't know if you talked about this after the game or not, but did you get to see any of the signs at game day? A lot of Winston signs.
Oh man, I got a text saying that, do you see these signs? But I really didn't watch game day that much because we usually have meetings around that time, so I usually don't see the game day stuff.
You take pride in being a leader of this team, and when a situation that occurred against Miami, what exactly were you saying to Bobby after the scrum on the field?
Just let him know that we need him more than anything, and like it's not really that big to get into a brawl. And I was telling him, I was like, man, I got your back, but we need you. We don't need none of this stuff to happen. If you look, Bobby didn't even get the penalty. Trey got the penalty because he was taken up for Bobby. So I mean, when things like that happen, I mean, from us and them, that's emotions getting involved, and that's why we play the game of football for situations like that, to see how you're gonna react to that situation. But I mean, sometimes we got to be the bigger man. We got to just chill because we could have got ejected out of the game, and we really don't need that. So I told him, I was like, man, just chill. It's gonna be all right.
You were kind of trying to help get someone off of Bobby, right?
I got him off him.
Did Coach Fisher kind of say maybe next time stay out of that? Or?
Of course. I mean, of course, Coach Fisher. That's what they're supposed to do. They're gonna tell us that, and it's not really locked in our mind, but it has to just come in somewhere because we gotta think like, hey, don't be selfish. Like next time when that happens, I'm gonna be like, I might just run full speed to the sidelines like, Coach Fisher, are you gonna do something about this? because you said we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just in our the way our players are. It's just in our it's in us to react when something like that happens. Then we were playing against Miami. Now we was playing against not a rivalry or somebody like anybody like other than Miami and Florida. It probably been different. But I mean, it's just our mentality, and we don't want to, like, our team is so close, we don't let nobody mess with nobody. We get in fights at practice sometimes just out of emotions, just because the offense and defense. But when we on that field, everybody together. You probably seen the defense get off the bench and just try to come onto the field, but obviously that would have been bad because they would have got up. But when things get flying and stuff, I mean, that's one thing that Coach Fisher tells us, like, we have to learn how to just maintain, even though it's so hard to do that at times. We just gotta be the bigger person.
Was it good then?
Two more questions.
Was it good then to turn that energy after that play? You came down, you were high-fiving everybody, and then James Wilder, to get him into the end zone and see him in the end zone, and you guys were able to turn it into a touchdown, and just to see him in the end zone too. That's when you see that side of our team, like, no regrets. We don't have nothing to lose. It's on now, man. I mean, when that happened, that's when the crowd got loud. That's the loudest I ever heard the crowd since I've been here. I mean, everybody got into it. Everybody just started,
you know, we all in, and we about to score the next play. We don't care what happened. If James got to break 18 tackles, and if they fans run on the field try to tackle him, he's not going to be denied. He's finna get in this end zone. The linemen, they blocked their tail off. They was like, man, we finna try to hurt these people. We finna try to get in the end zone. So that was big, man. Like, we needed that extra boost of intensity because we was playing a good game, and we were, like, pulling away from, but that really sealed the deal right there.
You mentioned, you know, the Heisman talk around Manziel and Mariota. I'm curious, was there, like, over the summer or even during fall camp, would you have pictured yourself being in that mix, that discussion, that, you know, for Heisman stuff with those guys?
I mean, I didn't really pay that stuff no attention because during the summer I was still trying to get a starting job, you know. So that's one thing that Coach Fisher always seems to keep us away from all the clutter with the no Twitter, the no social network and all that stuff. We don't get to see that stuff. We don't get to be involved with that stuff because we're so focused on becoming a team and focused on ourselves.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
Nearsighted.